rush that you get when driving at those speeds. I'll be the youngest driver in history to race at Le Mans.
I want to be at the top. I want to compete at the highest levels and race at the highest levels and win.
I love just like the speed and the adrenaline and the feeling that you get when you're driving. It's just incredible.
I'm Josh Pierson, I'm 16 years old, and I'm a racing driver in the FIA World Endurance Championship for United Autosports. So right now I'm racing an LMP2 car, which stands for Le Mans Prototype 2. They're an enclosed cockpit car, and they're similar to a GT car, but with more downforce. And your GT cars would be your standard Porsche, Ferrari, Aston Martin. So the LMP2 car can do up to 210. That's really reserved for Le Mans, but our standard speeds at most tracks would be 180 to 190. The car actually makes more downforce than it weighs. So if you had the right transition, you could drive the car on the ceiling and upside down, theoretically.
So Josh's strengths as a driver start with mental. He's also just incredibly calm, physically and mentally in the car. If you watch video of him driving compared to other drivers, he's just extremely relaxed. And if you listen to his radio traffic, he's very quiet. He doesn't talk much. He's just mentally really tough. And he just does his job and focuses on what he needs to do and stays calm and relaxed no matter what happens.
There's a significant amount that goes into racing that people don't see. I like to think of it as a high-speed game of chess, especially when you factor in traffic management with endurance racing and you're constantly going around slower GT traffic. When I'm mentally preparing, I look at something as I just need to stay calm and focused. We do a lot of strategy, and that might involve fuel saving. Fuel saving is kind of where we lift off the gas and kind of coast the car to stop using fuel and stop consuming fuel so we can go maybe a lap or two longer. I tend to be really calm under pressure, which can be a good perk. It's hard to prepare yourself for what's about to happen, what you're about to do, and there's always going to be pressure and you're always going to be nervous. But being nervous, I think, as an athlete is part of what we love. And for me, to get to be part of that history book, no matter what happens, is something special. I have a trainer that comes 3 times a week when I'm home. It's definitely physical, and depending on the car you're in, it can be more or less physically demanding. But a lot of that is the G-force in the car and the load on your body. When you take a corner at 150, there's a ton of G-force load on your neck and on your core, and so holding yourself in the seat and holding your head up can become challenging.
You think of a race car driver as an athlete, and he is, but he's been an exceptional athlete from the very beginning. Keep your shoulders down and don't lose your feet.
At those speeds, your heart rate is very high. We do a lot of cardio to kind of balance that as well. I think my heart rate, I don't wear a heart monitor all the time, but it can be anywhere from 150 to 200, depending on the situation. I spend a lot of time on the simulator, and that's more to learn the tracks. You can learn a lot from the simulator about where the track goes and the layout. The tracks are laser scanned, and so you get a lot of the bumps are the same and a lot of the curves are the same, so you get a feeling for where the track ebbs and flows, essentially. I have a synaptic eye program, which helps me kind of tune reaction time and hand-eye coordination. There's over 20 buttons in the car, and there's 6 dials for me to mess with, and a lot of the time I'm getting told to do stuff, almost every lap.
What these glasses do is they block out your vision, so you can see them blinking. When I'm increasing the level, it's increasing how long it goes dark for, so essentially it's lengthening the blink. I'm able to react faster, and I'm able to predict more. In racing, it's valuable, whether it's a crash or whether something's happening in front of me, I'm able to see that and avoid it. We play ping pong quite often, it gets pretty competitive. I have to go up a mode every time I score on it. So it just gets more and more difficult for me.
Night driving in general at those speeds is something else that is very difficult. You're relying on muscle memory when it gets super dark. When we're roughly around 1 to 2 a.m. and it's pitch black, down the Mulsanne Straight you can't see anything. At those speeds, it's really working your mental state. I think logically, for a long-term goal, motorsports can be very unpredictable and you kind of never know where you're going to end up. For me, it's about keeping doors open into my favorite series and where I want to go.
My name is Vargas. I am a professional race car driver.
Good.
The pit stop training is more for, the pit crews, right? Those guys are athletes. They are doing what a lot of people cannot do, and they're having to do it in under 12 seconds. What I do is sometimes I'll go down there, drive the race car, and just get more acclimated to it. Going in and experiencing doing a live pit stop like that.
So we orchestrate our communication through body language, or how we do so many reps together that we have that feel of we know where we're going to be at any given time. And I think that's where you have that unity.
It always helps to just be in the seat and doing something to learn and get better. That's what makes a good team great.
Ooh, that look good.
So this is where I keep a lot of my race gear stored. The helmet is absolutely stunning. It stands out and it has the scar down the side, just like how mine is. So that's something that I always try and incorporate so that people can at least know, oh, that's a Ryan Vargas helmet. So I was born with what is called craniosynostosis. It's basically caused when your soft spot shuts and it fuses the sutures in your skull. You have 4 of them. Mine were fused together, and so this part of my head is actually completely flat. And I had surgery on it when I was about 11 months old. Thankfully, that's the only surgery I needed, but there are thousands upon thousands of children and young adults who go through multiple surgeries and may not be able to live normal lives. I'm very fortunate to be here, but there are so many people who do not have that luxury. And so if I could at least give some hope to some of these kids and kind of show, hey, you know, you can still chase your dream, then I will absolutely do so. So right in here is basically my simulation room / gaming room / streaming studio. And this is where I do all my streaming, all my gaming. Everything on here is laser scanned and is as realistic as you could possibly get. So I would say I'm on here probably anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day. And then once the race season comes along, especially when I'm going to say a track over in Europe, right, that I haven't been to or that I don't have any notes on, I'll get on here and run practice laps at those road courses and get used to that. So that's just part of it.
I think Ryan stands out from his character. You're going to get the goodness of who he is. He's a fierce competitor. You have to be in this market. He's just one of those that you feel better about yourself when you leave him. And I think that's why he succeeds on a level that he has, because of the type of person that he is.
Every day I wake up and I tell myself, why should Ryan Vargas be the guy? I want to be at the top. I want to compete at the highest levels and race at the highest levels and win. I'd say the biggest thing that I look at a lot is just knowing where I've come from, you know, what I've done to get here, and what I'm going to do to continue moving forward. That's the dream right there.
I'm Dane Idelson, I'm 14 years old, and I'm a racing driver.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Come on. 3, 2, 1, go.
My first kart my dad was working on and I was working on, and I didn't even know that it was mine until one day he said that I was gonna drive it and was able to practice in it.
I started racing karts when I was 11. I did it with my dad. It wound up taking me all over the world. I think I've raced in 12 countries, 10 national titles. It's just a sport that I've been fascinated with, and it's just such a treat to get to do it, to repeat the process and do it with my son.
It just started from there and it ramped up really quickly, and here I am. We're at Auto Club Speedway today in Fontana. I like to go here because it's the main track we race on. Everybody goes before to get some practice in before the race, because the more practice, the better. It's a huge advantage. On Saturdays it's practice, and on Sundays it's the race, and this is the van that we keep all of our equipment in. We unload and then bring it down to the tent, start working on it and getting prepared for the practice for the day. Helmet, gloves, shoes, a neck brace. This is mandatory. Once I move up to senior, then you don't have to wear it anymore. I wear a rib protector, and if you don't wear that, you will break your ribs because the amount of G's that you pull in the turns, and the seat is very rigid. My main form of training is just going to the track and driving and getting better at my technique. One of the things we are working on right now is distributing my body weight. So as you get bigger and as you get taller, body weight becomes more a factor in racing, and especially in karting, you can lean to control the outside grip. Looks like everybody's going out.
I'm his driving coach and tuner and race prep, and I kind of do it all. The first thing we do when Dane comes off the track after every session is debrief. We go through the onboard video and the data from the data acquisition system, and we look at video. He's gotten really good at giving me feedback. We sort of come up with a plan together.
I'm struggling to turn here. It's like really heavy. But one of the times I let go of the steering wheel, see?
Maybe just give it a little breather so you get clean out of that.
So there's two aspects that we do in between sessions. One is the technical side on the chassis, and the other is the driving side. I try not to talk too much to Dane about specifics. By the time he's sitting on the grid, we've kind of gone over everything.
Okay, remember, you just focus on you, okay?
The kart is very technical. There's a bunch of different things that you can adjust, and each little tiny thing makes a big difference on the kart. If you just put a bolt right down there, then it'll change the whole driving style of the whole entire thing. Each driver has a different driving style and different way that they set it up, and you kind of just adjust it as you go. And each session, you come in and see what the kart needs and what you need and what it's doing well and what it's not doing well, and then you make the adjustments accordingly.
My goal for Dane has always been for him to be happy and do what he loves. I know a lot about this sport and I know how tough it is. I think as long as he's happy and he's enjoying what he's doing, he'll thrive.
Each race is an extraordinary feeling. And there's a place in your mind called the zone. Everybody refers to it as the zone. It's basically letting your consciousness drive and not you.